let's go to something that's ordinary, open house. We've all done them, everybody, probably first day on the job, open house. There's nothing particularly different about the concept, yet some of our panelists are making them different and getting absolutely disproportionate results from open house. Our team alone is on track to sell roughly 50 houses this year out of open house, something I used to consider a waste of time. So, I know some of you are thriving with open houses. I'd love for somebody to jump in and describe how can an open house not just be an open house? Kyle, I know you nail this. Melissa, I'm not sure how much attention you place on them. Actually, you and I talked about this earlier. Huh?
We just hold her houses open.
Yes. So by the way, agents looking for open houses, pay attention as well, because Melissa, as an individual agent selling 100 and God knows how many, 174 last year, well, she often needs agents to hold her homes open, and she allows any agent, not any, they have to do a great job, but you don't have to be affiliated with her, you don't have to be in her branch, etc. So that's going to be a relationship you want following this panel. Why don't we start with you, Kyle? I know you've differentiated your open houses, and Mary, you have about the craziest spaceship thing going on for yours, so we'll want to hear about that.
For sure. So the biggest mistake agents make when it comes to open houses is they pick an open house. They usually pick it on like Friday, and they set their open house up for Saturday at 1 o'clock. 12:30, they get in the car, drive over. On the way to the house, they throw 2 or 3 signs out on the corner and hope people show up. Well, nobody shows up, and you're like, oh, this is a waste of time. Or a couple neighbors show up, and you're like, oh, it's just a bunch of nosy neighbors. It was a huge waste of time. Well, the results that you get out of your open house are directly proportional to the results you put into your open house. And so if that's all you're doing is just deciding, all right, oh, Melissa's got a house open, I'm going to go hold that one open tomorrow, and you just show up three or four signs out, maybe you get 3 or 4 people, that's it. But if you really turn it into an event, it's a huge opportunity. So we look at launching a property like Hollywood looks at launching a movie. Like when the new Avengers comes out or the new Star Wars comes out, like Disney doesn't decide, oh, it's Friday, like let's just drop the movie today, right? There's a huge buildup to their movie releases, just like there's a huge buildup to your open house. And so for us, it's really a week-long process that goes into these open houses. So I'm gonna give you an exact list, right? Because I know when I sit in your guys' seat, I wanna walk away from something, just give me a step-by-step list of what to do. So I'm going to give this to you, and hopefully you write it down. We mail invitations on a Monday, and these invitations are 8.5 by 11, folded open, and I basically took a wedding invitation that I got, I sent it to my designer and said, make this for me, but make it real estate. So it looks like a wedding invitation. It's something very fancy, something that nobody else is really doing unless they've heard me talk about this. And it's something different. Like a lot of people here send postcards, that's cool. But how many people are actually sending a wedding invitation, right? We're here today talking about how to be different. This is a way to be different, because when somebody gets that in the mail and they open that, like, wow, this is fancy, right? Like they've never gotten something like that before. Like instantly, you've already differentiated yourself from the competition. That goes out on Monday. Tuesday, we start running social media ads, Facebook and Instagram. We're 100% all in on those. So those start running on Wednesday. This is before the house has ever hit the market. So you can utilize some catchy phrases when you can promote an open house. It's not on the market yet. That starts going on Tuesday. And that we're very targeted, right? On Facebook, Instagram, you can put a pin on a map, draw a circle, a mile, 5 miles, 10 miles, however far around it you want, and run ads specifically to people within that radius. So social media ads start running on Tuesday. Listing drops on the MLS on Wednesday. As soon as it hits the MLS, it syndicates out to Redfin, Zillow, Realtor, Trulia, all of those other websites. All of that happens on Wednesday. Thursday, we go around and door knock and or door drop flyers to everybody in the neighborhood. So now we're to Thursday. They've got something in the mail. They've seen it on social media. If they've been on any of the big portals out there, they've seen it, and they got something at the door. Now on Friday is when we circle prospect it. So we use Cole Realty resource, same thing. I can put a pin on a map, draw a circle a mile around it, but with this service I can pull in all the names and phone numbers of everybody that lives in that area. And then at that point we're going to call, text, and email every single person in the area. And the beauty is those calls can be kind of tough. But at this point, because of everything they've already gotten, they already know about it. It's not really a cold call. It's more of a warm call because you've already hit them 3 or 4 times with all the other pieces. So we call them. We use Mojo to make the actual calls. Then we utilize Agent Legend to text and email everybody in the neighborhood. So think about how much has actually happened to that point, right? That it's in their mailbox, it's on their social feed, it's on the portals, it's at their door, it's on their phone, it's in their email. You're literally everywhere. Then you finally do the open house. And this time of year in the summer, we do them on a Friday evening. Try to do it right around happy hour, 4 to 7, 5 to 8, something like that. Who doesn't want to go have a drink after a long day of work or a long week of work? So we typically do one specific for the neighbors on Friday night. And when we do them, they're themed, based on the neighborhood, based on the demographic, based on the price point, we do different things. So we do stuff as simple as pizza and beer to having a sushi chef roll sushi on site and have sake. So think about your market. We've done tacos and margaritas. We've done donuts and mimosas. We've done a variety of different things. So that happens on Friday night. We get everybody in the neighborhood to come in there. Those of you guys that don't like nosy neighbors, just give them my cell phone number. I'll talk to them all day because you need to get in your head, those nosy neighbors are your future sellers. Neighbors equals sellers. I love having a house full. In my main farm that I work, my average open house has 100 people in it. That means that's usually couples, so there's 50 potential sellers in the house at one time. Like, that's so freaking powerful. That happens on Friday night. The public open house happens on Saturday afternoon. So what happens is all the neighbors come in Friday night, they see the house like, oh, this is beautiful. My friend Billy's thinking about, buying up here. Billy, you should come check out this house. They're gonna have it open tomorrow. We follow that up on Saturday. The key is the house, don't just go and open the door, have a couple MLS sheets on the counter, and hope it's going to be good. You got to appeal to people's senses. You want to make it different than everybody else out there. We just finished one of our open houses last weekend, and we were done with ours. Went to the neighborhood one, and it was like a concert got let out. Like, we were like all hyped up, having a good time, and then we walked in this other house, like, woo! It was just draining. There was nothing happening. So I like Sonos speakers. If Sonos speakers don't fit your budget, get Bluetooth speakers. But I do one speaker downstairs, one speaker upstairs, one speaker outside. So there's music. The second somebody walks in the door, there's music playing. Completely changes the environment when they walk in the door because now, like, oh, this is fun. There's never that awkward silence. There's always somebody working the door. Somebody is standing at the door greeting every single person that comes in, because it is a nice way to enter a home. There's far too many times somebody walks in your open house that you're doing all by yourself. They walk in like, is anybody here? Hello? Hello? Like, is that how you want the experience to start for somebody? No. Like, you want them to come, hey, welcome to the open house. How are you doing? I'm Kyle, right? So we have somebody specifically working the door. They hand them an iPad, get them to sign in. We use Spacio. Some of you guys use Open Home Pro. It's cool, but Spacio is kind of the new iteration of open house sign-in apps because as soon as somebody signs in on that app, they automatically go into my CRM. I don't have to wait till the next day and then upload that into my CRM. So the fact it's automatically integrated is really important.
Just as a quick interruption, that suggests you have a CRM.
Yes.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you don't have a CRM, you do have one. Your broker's probably paying for it for you. You're just not using it. So what CRM should you use? It's one of the most common questions people get asked to do the numbers that we all do. It's the CRM you already have that you're not using. There's no perfect CRM.
One of the best, Commissions Inc. is in the back right now. Anyway, just want to highlight that. Here's the point. To him, that was such an elementary point of doing business that he didn't even think to pause there. That to him was just absolutely elementary. Please let that land if I'm speaking to you right now. So it lands in your CRM, then what does this Spacio thing do?
So the cool thing is now it's into the CRM and there's already a preset campaign. So then a text is gonna go out to that person 2 hours after the open house, and it's, hey, thanks so much for coming by the open house. It was great to see you. Did you have any feedback I can relay to the seller? It's not, do you wanna buy or sell, right? I'm just trying to get a conversation started. So it's not, are you thinking about buying or selling? Like, you're turning people off. Get a conversation started. And they'll respond like, oh yeah, we liked it, but blah, blah, blah. Cool. And then you roll into conversation, right? This is your job, is to have conversations with people. You have conversations for dollars. So if you can't converse with people, get out of the business, please. All right, so They sign in, it goes into the CRM, and then we always have 2 agents working the open house. The person at the door knows when somebody comes in, they ask, do you live in the neighborhood? If yes, they're going to walk them over and introduce them to me. If no, they're going to walk them over and introduce them to my buyer's agent that's working the open house with me. All I want is neighbors, and I can be super focused, and I know every comp in the neighborhood. I know it inside and out. I know what's for sale. I know who's got it listed. I know if there's been price changes. I know if it's occupied or vacant. I know everything about every property there. Or my buyer's agent knows everything else that's for sale. So in case that particular property is not a fit, they know what else is for sale in the area. And because there's 3 of us, if needed, they could actually run out of the open house and go show a property really quick. So you want to know what other properties in the area are vacant. Just in case you got somebody who's a really good lead, you could jump in the car and go show it because there's still 2 people left at the open house. They come in the open house, there's food, there's music, there's alcohol. Alcohol is great, people stay longer, they talk more, and it becomes fun where it kind of becomes like an event in the neighborhood where people, they actually look forward to coming to these just so they can see their neighbors. It becomes like a neighborhood hangout. And it's gotten to the point now that we get so many people at these that I have to kick people out of the house when 7 o'clock rolls around, and then everybody's figuring out, like, where's the after party? Like, where are we going next? Like, holy shit, there's an after party for my open house. Like, how cool is that? And so then I go to the after party, right? And then I get to go hang out, and then the relationship changes at that point too, because now I'm going to somebody else's house, we're having beers, you know, smoking cigars, whatever the case may be, and now I get to connect on a personal level. It's amazing what happens with that. Last thing I'll leave you guys with is every single one of you, well, I'm gonna say every single one, 99% of you guys are following up with your open house leads on Monday. We already got to them on Sunday. If you're waiting till Monday to follow up with your open house leads, you're just like everybody else. Follow up on Sunday if you want to be different.
So let me summarize that. You're saying, are you saying
I just gave you like our whole business model. Just copy it.
You don't just do 3 or 4 signs? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, signs, anywhere from 50 to 100 signs.
Okay.
So the main neighborhood I work, the primary intersection has 30 signs at it, at one intersection.
So he's created a focus out of that.